that will not be the case. I'm also hoping that those who should heed our call, the right thing will be done. We'll get our players into that competition, and they will excel like they did in 2014. And hopefully 2015, not just for tennis, across board, will be very good for Nigeria. But you don't want your athletes missing out on technicalities like this. If you go to a tournament and you perform woefully, it's different from when you don't even go.
It's not going at all.
It's not good.
It's not going to speak well. Yeah. It's not going to speak well for Nigeria. I mean, the IWTF have placed us on the map. We are hosting world events, international events, high-ranking events, point-scoring events, and then you are not able to go for a qualifying event. It doesn't hard well. But I'm sure that we have very, very passionate people at the National Sports Commission, the DG, Honorable Benga Legbele. I'm sure he's going to be on top of this. Yeah. He has. I mean, I remember the last time when Quadri won those awards, he commended Quadri and said, look, we will do whatever we can to make sure that your dream of staying at the top, and I think this is an opportunity for him to fulfill the dream. So we are making this appeal, really, but I'm sure the National Sports Commission will not allow this slip by. I'm sure they will not.
We'll know in the next few weeks.
Just 10 days.
Yeah, that's
just 10 days.
About 2 weeks.
Less than 2 weeks, actually.
Well, I hope. It's not going to be a good story if those guys don't get to participate. So I'm hoping everything will work out well. And I'm hoping that all of this distraction will not affect the guys.
Okay. All right, so let's go on a quick break now. When we return from the break, we'll switch to football. There's plenty to talk about. I know a lot of you are not thinking about it, but believe it or not, Saturday, the 2015 Africa Cup of Nations will begin in Equitorial Guinea. Nigeria won't be there. But we'll talk about it all the same. And we'll talk about the home-based Eagles, we'll talk about the Flying Eagles, we'll talk about the Golden Eaglets when we return from this break. All right, thank you for staying with us. It's time for us to move on now and take a look at some football stories very quickly on Sports Tonight. Are you guys amongst the set of Nigerians that do not even know that the Nations Cup is just a few days away? Well, no. Are you part of?
I can't.
A lot of Nigerians. I'll come to you, Cosmos. Are you part of? Are you interested in what's going on in the next couple of days?
In 2012, I watched every game.
Are you planning to watch every game this time?
I'm planning to watch this one, and
if your work will permit you, if your schedule will allow you.
Yes, and I'll try as much as possible to get all the information I can. You know, the fact that
so you are aware of all that is going on.
Yes, I am.
You are prepared. Yes. If I ask you which teams are playing the opening game, you can tell me. I'm not going to ask you. Cosmos, you guys are looking forward to the Nations Cup.
Yeah, of course. As a Nigerian, I'm not looking forward to the Nations Cup. Of course, the job entails that
you must follow it at least.
You have
keep
to follow
track.
We talked about he talked about the fact that he's going to follow all the games and all that. In 2012, all of the games, that 2 games were on television. But this year, we're not hearing anything about any game being on television.
Yeah, for a number of reasons. Yeah, and one of the things I want to talk about is the Ebola virus. Yeah. The reason why Morocco is not hosting is because of the Ebola virus. They wanted a postponement for the Ebola virus, and CAF is already reacting to it. The director of media of CAF, Junior Biam, is already speaking about how CAF will ensure that this tournament goes well on the pitch and goes well outside of the pitch in spite of the threat of the Ebola virus. So let's listen to Junior Biam, and then we'll come back for more on Sports Tonight.
I'm not showing. I don't have any fear about Ebola outbreak disturbing the African Cup of Nations. Just for you to know, we have gone through qualifiers since the month of April, and we have not had any single Ebola case related to a football game. Even when it comes to local football played in the host countries, we have not heard of any Ebola cases related to a football game, because when the outbreak starts, our national associations were instructed to stop the local leagues as far as when we receive the prescription of WHO saying that mass gatherings must be avoided in all those countries. We don't have, till today, any Ebola cases related to the activity of football. So we don't expect that it will happen during such a tournament where we have a beta organization, where we have beta trained people on ground, and we are aware of the outbreak. It was not like it was a surprise 8-9 months ago when people were not really considering it risky. Today, everybody knows it's risky, the population, the government, and everybody is acting accordingly. So the risk of having any case today is, I think, it's reduced than 8 or 9 months ago.
All right, so that's Junior Biam, Director of Communications with the Confederation of African Football, CAF, assuring that the tournament will go on, and there isn't any need for us to be afraid because they have put measures in place to ensure that there is safety and there is no spread of the Ebola virus. But gentlemen, quickly, outside of the threat by Ebola, what are you guys looking forward to? The tournament is just a few days away. A lot of teams have injury worries. Players are pulling out at the last minute. It's to be expected, really, in tournament of this nature. But what are you guys looking forward to? Who are you putting your money on to go all the way and replace Nigeria?
The usual favorites, Ghana, Ivory Coast. I mean, for the last 4 or 5 editions, anytime.
And those guys that you just mentioned have not won it.
But I have a feeling. I don't know. I just have a feeling, and it's been with me for a while. And even if Nigeria had qualified, it wouldn't have changed anything.
That's a year for Ghana.
Ghana or Ivory Coast. I don't know for whatever reasons why I'm thinking that. Now, I'm not expecting to see a perfect
tournament
in terms of
logistics, quality of football.
No. Quality of football will be okay.
Quality of facilities.
Quality of facilities, and some other things around the game. But I'm happy that the host and CAF has told us that there will not be any potential problem for the weeks that the tournament will hold. You're not going to have Ebola. Rest easy. Nothing is going to happen to you while you are in Equitorial Guinea. And that is heartwarming for me. I don't know the condition, the stadia. I mean, the stadiums that are going to. I don't know.
They're working pretty hard on those.
Even in South Africa, I mean,
we have problems with Nelspruit, Dusty Pitch, especially where we played.
Ghana and
Burkina Faso.
Actually, the stadium that we played.
Mumbela Stadium.
Was horrible.
In Nelspruit.
So we might get to see some of that, but these guys are Africans.
They get used to it. What are you putting your money on for AFCON 2015?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, I was thinking the Ivory Coast. I mean,
you're not looking at Cameroon. You're not looking at Algeria.
I'm not particularly.
You're not looking at Senegal.
Well, I'm not particularly looking at Algeria. Of course, Algeria, they are the clear favorite for the past. Clear favorite in the sense that they are the most informed African team.
That's his opinion. Let him express it. That's his opinion.
So I'm looking at the Ivorians. I mean, the Ivorians have been knocking on the door since 2006. Actually got to the finals in Egypt. Got to the semi-finals in 2008. We are unlucky in 2010 when they got to the quarterfinals. Of course, in 2012, got to the finals as well, in same Equitorial Guinea, and of course, they lost to Nigeria in the last Nations Cup. So
in the quarterfinals.
The quarterfiners, so they have been knocking on the door.
So you think this is the time that the doors will open?
The golden generation. They're probably the best team of Cote d'Ivoire as far as I know. Of course, I watched the 1992 team, but then I feel they are the best so far because of the quality that they have. So I'm looking at the Ivorians. So let's just see how it goes.
We'll continue our build-up about the Nations Cup and try to get Nigerians interested in the Nations Cup as we go on. The tournament surely will go on without Nigeria.
Of course.
And we are hoping that it turns